What an awesome show we're having today. These guests are just absolutely inspiring. I just feel so hopeful about everything. Our next guest is Annie Bourke, MBA. She is Brisbane. She's from Australia and she's here. Uh, uh, she is an international best-selling author and an international animal communicator. Animal medium, Annie Bourke has conversations with animals living and in spirit. She conveys messages between them and their humans and provides clarity and peace of mind. Animals are her passion, and her mission is to raise global awareness of the importance of animals. She wants people to understand that animals have souls and that they feel emotions, that they understand everything that we say, and that there is no coincidence that they are in our lives. Welcome to the show, Annie.
Thank you very much, Cornelia.
So it's so good the work that you're doing. I mean, so many people love their pets like kids, right? So, what I love is that you're an animal communicator and that you're raising awareness that the animals can feel everything, right? That the animals have emotions and that they can feel everything. What is it that you want to say to the audience about that?
Look, lots of different things, and most people get very surprised when I tell them that animals understand everything that we say, and they kind of look at me and think, "Oh, what have I been saying in front of my animal?" But it's amazing the vocabularies that our animals have. I've had someone say to me, "It's a dog, it knows stop and walk, and that's it." But with doing the mentorship program that I offer, where I work with animal parents and they learn to talk telepathically with their own animals, the words that they come out with in the exercises we do are just amazing. Some of them are words I've never heard of before, and I look them up in the dictionary and they're there. I believe that some of these animals have had past lives hundreds of years ago, and so they're using words that they're familiar with from those eras. But it's incredible that you can have this profound conversation with an animal. So, for people listening who have living animals and have never thought about an animal conversation, you can find out so much from your animal. So, you can find out why they're with you, what is their purpose, have you had past lives with them, what's the relationship with you. Uh, are they having behavior issues that you want to discover what's causing them? And it's interesting because a lot of times animals change their behavior because they're trying to talk to us and tell us something. And until we can communicate telepathically, they have to rely on their facial expressions or body language or even different vocalizations. And they're so smart, they know that changing behavior gets our attention. And none of the animals I've spoken to with changed behavior have done it just to deliberately be naughty. There's an important message they're trying to get to their humans. And then for people who have lost an animal, I know because I've experienced this myself, it's one of the most difficult things that we do. But having a conversation with your animal in spirit can also give you that peace of mind and hope because we can find out what happened if we weren't there when our animal passed away or we didn't have a chance to say goodbye. Again, we can find out about the soul connections. But the most amazing things that animals have taught me is about animal soul reincarnation. And I knew nothing about that till one of my cats let me experience it. It was such a huge shock because she wasn't unwell and she wasn't very old. But she knew that by doing this, I would then understand the process. I'd be able to write about it in my books and I'd be able to help people. Because when I have a conversation with an animal in spirit, I can ask, is it your destiny to come back in this lifetime? And if it is, they can tell me what species they're going to be, what breed, what colour, what gender, time frame for when the parents can find them. And to me, this makes such a phenomenal difference to the grief process because, yes, you're mourning the loss of your animal who's passed over, but by knowing that an aspect of their soul is going to come back to you in a new animal body and have another lifetime of love with you, is just incredible. It's really surreal having them back again. And so many people ask me to tell their animal how much they love them and how much they'd give to hug them one more time. And there you are, your animal comes back and you get to hug them every day. and be grateful that you've got another lifetime with them. And I know a lot of people feel that when their animal passes away, that that's it, that's the end of the relationship. The physical body's not here anymore, but we can actually always telepathically communicate with our animal's soul in spirit. They've taught me that the soul endures. So that love relationship we have with them endures whether they come back in this lifetime or not. I've spoken with a dog who passed over more than 20 years ago. It's like having a conversation with you now. So, and I think that gives people a lot of hope as well, that yes, they've had this very special relationship with an animal and that can continue.
It's so beautiful. Everything that you're saying, it's just it's such a beautiful education and relationship, right? That you're making us aware. And obviously, you're very passionate about it. You were meant to do this because you are definitely just in that zone of speaking this out. I just want to confirm something with you about the communication with animals. So I had um, my dog that passed away in 2015. She was with me for 16 years. And but one of the things that I learned, I was communicating with her when she was here. And but one of the things that I had learned is that uh, it was back in 2009, I discovered there was a tumor on her throat. And I discovered it with us playing ball. And she was sitting on my bed. She had a big yawn kind of, and I saw it on her throat. And that's when I realized that she was taking that tumor on for me, because at that time I was just beginning to come into my voice and speaking my voice. And I told her, I said, do not take on my emotions, my things that are for me. That's not your role. So I took her to the vet, and then of course it came back, but it was all fine. It wasn't a thing. It was benign. And but the vet told me only somebody like you would be able to see this, find this, and discover this. And um, but that's when I discovered that I did not want my animal, because like you said, the animals know what we're going through and they love us so much. And how do you feel about that?
I was just going buzzy listening to you telling me that story. So my soul recognizes that as the truth. And I've had that experience myself personally and also with our clients. Their animals are so tuned into our frequency that when we get ill, our frequency drops, our vibrational frequencies, and the animals can pick that up. And often they know before we do that we're not well. And they can also read our mood. So, like if we're sad or angry, and they'll deliberately spend more time with us to support us, to help us. But yes, they can energetically take on some of our symptoms for us so that we're not bearing the full brunt of the condition. They know we haven't asked them to do that. They just feel it's like an act of service. They want to help us. And I've had that with a couple of my cats. And so once I've worked out what was actually going on, I've had to say, well, look, thank you for doing that. But it would make me a lot happier and less stressed if you can let me take on my symptoms and I can have you there as healthy. And they understand that, but it just happens so frequently. And it's just amazing all of these things our animals are doing behind the scenes to help us that a lot of people aren't aware of. So, on the physical aspects, with helping with lowering blood pressure and reducing
Yeah,
the risk of heart attacks, all of those kind of things,
yeah,
companionship, but there's also the deeper spiritual purpose, which is what I've been finding more and more in my conversations now as well, and what I've written about in my most recent book. And my gorgeous boy, who you can see in the background, actually dictated the last chapter for me, and told me a lot of things he wanted me to include in the book because he knew how important it is to get these messages out to people and to help with their consciousness expansion. And that's part of the thing that animals can do to help us. I knew that they could help us with evolving our hearts, because they help us to experience unconditional love. And for a lot of people, if they're on their own, their animal is the only being that they get to experience love with. And that's really important for us. But they can actually accelerate our learning. And some of these animals are very evolved souls. They've had multiple lifetimes. So the wisdom they're carrying is amazing. And they know how to deliver it to us in bite-sized pieces so that we can understand it, absorb it, integrate it, and then they teach us again. So a lot of our animals are here to teach us or to heal us or to help guard us, or a combination. So again, having a conversation with them, you can just find out so much about why they're with you. And just one conversation can change the dynamics of the relationship. So even if you're listening and you don't know how to telepathically communicate with your animal, after listening to this show, if you go and look at your animal in the face and tell them that you love them and you're grateful that they're with you, that will change things for them. It empowers them. They know that you love them, but hearing you verbally saying those high frequency words really helps them. And that will change your connection. And that's all about what I'm about, is deepening that animal-human relationship.
So beautiful. I mean, you must be super, super busy, I just wanna say, because I just know how much people love their animals, how much people love their pets, and you're helping them on a deeper level to, strengthen that relationship between the animal and the person. It's so beautiful. I want to let the audience know where they can find your books
Yes,
and
certainly.
social media handles.
Yes. So I've got 3 books. 2 are about the Bridging Animal Consciousness series. I've got to write a 3rd in the trilogy yet. And the middle book is about spiritual awakening to help people on their journey. So for people listening in Australia, they're available directly from me. And for elsewhere in the world, they're available from Amazon. The best way to contact me is through my email address or sending me a message through my website, which is cosmicheartintuitive.com.au.
Annie, you are amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate your passion and your service and just your inspiration, and also, the work that you're doing with animals. It's so, so, so helpful, so beautiful. Thank you so much. I want to thank the audience for listening and tuning into the Cornelia Stephanie Show, all my guests today, and I also want to thank Transformation Talk Radio for their support in the ways that they make sure that we get the shows out to all of you. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you again next time. Take good care.
You've been listening to the Kornelia Stephanie Show, Wake Up to Love, your call to action. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio. Kornelia's joy is to engage others in practical ways, showing us how to live in the new earth in harmony with our true nature. For more information on Kornelia and her extraordinary work, or to listen to past shows, go to her website at korneliastephanie.com.